And let's get it up to Larry Colmes.
My final thought is I'm glad you changed your forecast, Ahmed, because it is certainly raining here as we see D-Day Sky and Arad Ortiz move into the starting gate. He is just a little bit reluctant to go in. Arad waving his whip there in the air. Not sure what that does, but it worked because D-Day Sky has moved in. Here's Imperial Gun, and they're all in line. They're off into Sir Barton. Real Macho and Circle P were squeezed back a bit at the break. There goes Daily Grind. Out for the early lead. Gould's Gold away running in second and holding the rail as they move into that turn. Break of a length and a half. Then comes Imperial Gun running along in third position. Deposition saves ground in fourth. Corporate Power goes up wide outside of D-Day Sky and Circle P along the rail. Real Macho is the trailer, and Daily Grind is the leader through a 24.39 opening quarter mile. The lead is just a half a length. And then it's Gould's Gold on the outside, pressing the pace, and now switching to the outside in second position. After that, a break of a length and a half to Deposition, Corporate Power 3 wide, Imperial Gun in between those two. Then comes Circle P and D-Day Sky. They're well bunched. Only 5 lengths separate all of those. And then Real Macho at the back of the field. 48.72 was the half mile. Daily Grind on the inside. Gould's Gold right alongside. Imperial Gun is 3 deep. Corporate Power caught out there 4 wide as they make their way around the far turn. Circle P is next. Then Deposition down toward the rail. And D-Day Sky on the outside. Around the far turn they go. And it is still Daily Grind and Gould's Gold, and they're right together as they come to the top of the stretch. Gould's Gold on the outside, down toward the rail. Daily Grind starting to give way. Corporate Power is 2.5 lengths behind them, and then comes Imperial Gun to the inside. Gould's Gold to catch. Imperial Gun splitting horses. Corporate Power on the outside. Here comes Corporate Power. Corporate Power, Imperial Gun. It's going to be Corporate Power and Gould's Gold fighting back. Oh, that got close. Gould's Gold came back. Corporate Power was right there. Imperial Gun ended up third.
Well, Brian Hernandez has done it again. I think we have another. I mean, is that a photo? Gould's Gold. Brian Hernandez, the team aboard Mystic Dan for the Derby and Preakness, and we've got another close finish.
This is dead close.
This is so much going on in the stretch. Gould's Gold looked like a winner, and then he made the lead. He kind of idled a little bit. Corporate Power and Imperial Gun were having their shoving match through the stretch. It looked like Corporate Power was going to go ahead and win, and then here comes Gould's Gold back on the rail.
I'm going to say Corporate Power by a nose.
It is
right there.
Very, very close.
I think he had his nose down on the wire. I think it's either going to be Corporate Power by a nose or a dead heat.
Yeah, if you can hear the crowd behind us, they just got to look at the replay too.
And when you look from this camera angle, the outside horse, you got to give him a little extra credit because it's not exactly on the wire. It's a little bit of an angle, but certainly a close finish.
It's going to be hard to tell.
I guess the blinkers didn't really work on Corporate Power because he's still goofing off down the stretch.
He also was 4 wide on both turns.
He was extremely wide on the
so,
turns.
you know, you got to give him a little bit of credit for that. But
it looks like it. Corporate Power. Yeah, Javier Castellano, that was not just an easy race for him aboard Corporate Power.
No, it wasn't. He got hung out on the first turn. He did get the win, and better than it looked.
There it is, Corporate Power, your winner of the Sir Barton Stakes.
Now, this is an inquiry by the stewards. It's just different than an objection by the rider, which might follow once Joel Rosario, the rider of number 10, Imperial Gun, gets back to the scales. But there was bumping going on. We're going to have a head-on here shown to us in the meantime. But it's hard to tell from an angle actually who initiated it and who pushed the other one more until you have a true head-on shot. But there was definitely some action going on through the stretch between Corporate Power, the winner, and
I think when we see the head-on, it's going to be hard to figure out who's most at fault here as well.
They're ID'd here. Gould's Gold's on the lead, so behind him, these horses will kind of move out, and Imperial Gun, Corporate Power with a shadow roll on his nose. I really can't say that there was that much that happened. It looked like they both kind of came together. What I would call it incidental contact.
Me too. Imperial Gun was under left-handed urging by Rosario, came out a little bit. The winner came in a little bit. I don't think it's a disqualifiable
personally,
offense.
I wouldn't change the order.
No.
And there you see the photo. Brian Hernandez just missing it by a nose this time, 2 weeks later.
This is not Sierra Leone and Forever Young coming down the stretch of the Kentucky Derby.
Sure, and I'm glad that happened too, because that is instructive if this does happen a few hours from now in the Preakness, how the stewards here could handle it.
Look, horses very rarely run straight. And so it's up to the guys on their back to keep them as straight as they can. But look, they're getting tired. The riders are getting tired. You know, going through, and just maybe a foot one way or another can cause a lot.
3 stewards. You see them watching. There's an odd number for a reason. So if they take a vote, you don't have any ties. Here you get another look at it. Now, it obviously doesn't involve Gould's Gold. Those are the 2 horses that hit the wire noses apart. Imperial Gun was about 3/4 of a length back in third.
Here you go again. I think initially Imperial Gun came out a step.
That's what I thought.
Corporate Power kind of just held his ground and maybe shouldered him back in a little bit. But I wouldn't change the order if it were me.
No.
So in our last race, the Sir Barton Stakes, we had an inquiry and also a jockey's objection. Joel Rosario on the 10. We have just heard that it is official now, Corporate Power. No change in the order of finish.